Welcome to Journey to Fulfilment podcast. Today we have a special guest. His name is Thomas Chen. Welcome, Thomas.
Hello, hi Pauline. Thanks for having me on your podcast. Looking forward to an amazing session today.
Yes, and me too. And today's session, well, first of all, I'd like you to introduce yourself to everyone. So please introduce yourself and what you do.
All right. Hi, everyone. So my name is Thomas. I'm from Singapore. Professionally, I'm managing a few portfolios. I'm a coach, speaker, as well as a wealth planner. So aside from helping my clients to manage their financial portfolios, what I do is I also run a coaching and training company where we dive into topics around financial management, business, as well as life skills. Essentially topics which will help my clients reach the next level of wealth one way or another. So I've been on this entrepreneurial journey for 7 years. Since my student days in university, I've started, and it has been an amazing ride. Looking forward to many more years of it.
Yeah, that's amazing. And now, it sounds like we have a very similar background because I used to be, still am, but in finance. So very much into wealth creation and, like financial management on all of that. So I want to dig into a little bit of that today because I know that is your specialty. But share with us, what's your story?
So my story started when I was in university. Back then, that's where my entrepreneur drive kicks into full throttle itself. Well, before that, I do have some signs of me wanting to go into the entrepreneurial road. And how it is like is very interesting because since young, I'm someone who is very creative in a way. I will always try to find different ways to do things that are usual. So for example, when it comes to playing with toys, when I was a very young age that time, right? Sometimes people, they would just purchase the toys and they will play, but I would make my own toys. And when I enter into the university path itself, when I am running for leadership roles, instead of just organizing the usual events, I will also think of different ways to organize different events that will further value add people. So all these are little signs which tells me that I'm someone who loves creativity, who loves innovation. So that aligns with the entrepreneurial path itself. And the second sign is my inner purpose. So for me, I'm really fortunate that I managed to identify my inner purpose from a very young age. And to cut the long story short, it is to impact people. Not from an angle that I'm, just noble or like want to change the world. But whenever I am able to value add someone, I feel a sense of happiness. I feel a sense of significance. So when I align my passion for creativity and my purpose of impacting people, it just dives into the entrepreneurial path. So that's when I know that I want to be an entrepreneur. And it brings to the next question of exactly what business do I want to run. So in my uni days, it was the exploration phase. So I tried out many different business, training, speaking, digital marketing, wealth planning itself. And I love all of them. But as we would know, if we just focus on many different directions, we will not do well. So my solution to it was to find a way where I bring everything together to form an ecosystem, which is what I am doing today. That's helping people to reach the next level of wealth, be it through helping them with their financial portfolios or coaching and training them. The whole idea is always focusing on bringing them to the next level of wealth. And why I feel that is important because I personally believe that money is a multiplier. It's neither good nor bad, but it amplifies who the person is. So if the person has a good nature, if the person wants to help other people, having money will certainly empower the person to do even better in that area itself. And that's why I believe wealth is something that all of us have to look into. And that's how I create my business. That's how I create my ecosystem. And that's how I started my entrepreneurial journey and have been on it so far.
Wow, that's incredible. Because the fact that it sounds like it's some traits that you've got in there, the leadership, creativity, innovation, and the wanting to impact has been a part of you for probably a long time, even before the uni days. I want to ask you, this craving for impact, when did it all start? When did you realize that you wanted to impact the world in some way?
Very good question. So I always have this sense that I love to help others. I love to, and I enjoy value adding others. And this all started out when I am young, because when I was young that time, all of these habits, all of this behavior arises in many different forms, be it my interaction with friends, my interaction with family, my interaction with strangers. It is always the direction that I hit into. But when I was younger, I did not know what the cause is, why I behave like that, or what makes me this person. But it is when I grow older, when I'm more into personal development, I know about terms such as purpose. I know about terms such as our inner why. I know about terms such as, finding our true self. And that's where I start to piece everything together and understand that the reason why I'm like that, the reason why I enjoy impacting others, because it is who I am. It is my purpose, my identity. It is Thomas. And that's how I managed to identify that as my inner purpose. And from there itself, it is really up to finding the mechanism that helps me to impact people, because there are many different ways for me to impact people. But what is the one which aligns to me the most, which is the one that I enjoy doing it? So let me give you an example. I can simply invite a friend for a run, right? Or a marathon. That is also one way or another impacting them, because it helps them to be healthier. But clearly, I'm someone who doesn't love exercising. So that is not one way that I will enjoy impacting others. So I enjoy impacting others by educating them, by empowering them. So that's how I find the alignment, and that's how I come to do what I'm doing today.
Yeah, okay, awesome. And you talk about the mechanism. That's a good one. So like, how did you end up sort of finding your way into, I mean, you mentioned a few things at university, and then you were doing something like wealth, and you're getting into that side of things. But how did you really know with certainty that the mechanism for you was through the wealth side or the financial side to help people with that?
Very good question. So personally, I believe that for us to live our life to the fullest, we need to achieve these 3 P's, right? So I've touched on 2 P's already: purpose, passion, and the 3rd P is profit itself. Purpose, like what I mentioned, is our inner why. Passion is what we enjoy doing. Profit is what people will pay us for, or what can we be generously remunerated with. And wealth planning and wealth coaching itself happens to align with all these 3s. It is also aligned with the market direction. It is a business which will never die out. It is something that is everlasting. And that's how I know that wealth planning itself, and also a subsidiary of it, what I'm doing, wealth coaching itself, aligns with these 3 P's. Of course, it takes a while for me to explore, right? I'm able to say with certainty right now is because I have spent years exploring all these different businesses before I come with the agreement and alignment that the wealth component itself is the way forward. It helps to align with all 3 P's, and it is my way of living life to the fullest. Because like what I mentioned, yes, wealth planning, wealth coaching, it is a very generously remunerated career. And with that amount of money, I am able to align myself with my purpose of impacting other people, because I'm able to use this wealth that I earn to, run promotions, to start initiatives, to advertise my content, to outreach to more people, and from there, impact more people. So that is how I come with the alignment. It helps me to align with these 3 P's, and I'm able to live life to the fullest with that.
That is beautiful. Yeah. And I think like us being coaches as well, there's a lot of alignment that is necessary for us to then go out and empower people and impact. So in terms of, you mentioned about the alignment piece, and working for like different businesses to sort of then figure out this side that you're doing now. Tell us a little bit more about like what happened there. How did you end up finding the alignment more specifically for yourself?
Amazing. So earlier on, I was mentioning about the 3 P's. So maybe I would dive into the 3 P's. So firstly, for inner purpose itself. So for those of you who are out there who are perhaps still trying to find what is your inner purpose, here is a simple exercise that you can do. Ask yourself right now, what do you want to achieve badly? Perhaps to some people is they want financial freedom. To some people is they want to travel overseas. To some people is they want to start a family, right? So that is the surface reason. And after which you want to dive it down. Ask yourself why, right? Keep asking yourself why. Go so deep until it ends up as an emotional state. I do this because it makes me feel happy. It makes me feel fulfilled. It makes me feel significant. Your inner why will be one step before that emotional reason. So when I do this exercise from several different angles of what I want to achieve badly, and I just dive it right down to that why until I reach that emotional state, it all boils down to me wanting to impact people. So that is my inner purpose. When I impact people, it helps me to feel that significance. It helps me to feel that joy. So perhaps my angle of impacting people is not really like noble, but it's more self-oriented. But I always say that even if it is self-oriented, doesn't mean I cannot help others along the way. Doesn't mean it cannot impact other people along the way as well. So at the end of the day, yeah, that's how I identify that first P of my inner purpose. The second P, that is passion. What do we enjoy doing? I think this one will be more direct. It will be clearer. So you just need to ask yourself, what do you find joy in doing? And preferably something that you have been doing for years and yet you still enjoy doing. And for me, it's always about being creative. It's about being innovative. I cannot bear with the life of being stagnant and just following fixed regimens. It is not my style. I'm someone who needs new ideas, new concepts, and business entrepreneurship is the way. This year itself, I've launched many new initiatives, and it's because I enjoy doing it. I don't feel tired from doing it because I feel enjoy doing it. I don't feel the burnout. I don't feel the fatigue because it is my passion, right? I mean, we look at some of the athletes, such as the late Kobe Bryant. He's able to train almost every day from an early morning. Why doesn't he feel tired? Why doesn't he feel burnout? Because he truly enjoys it. He finds the passion in basketball. And we have to find the passion as well. So that's the next P. All right. And the third P itself, profit. Well, it depends on your economic environment right now. Here in Singapore, finance has always been the most well-numerated industry. It has been an industry that holds of high standard and industry that people highly respect it. So it is something that is always there. I mean, finance, it has, although they always say that it may be automated, it may be digitalized, but at the end of the day, humans will still trust humans more than AI itself, right? So the trust factor is there, and yeah, finance is the way forward. So in terms of how everything aligns together, this is more towards the business side, because as I mentioned earlier, aside from doing wealth planning, I coach people as well. So in business, we want to find an anchoring team so that people know us for that. We can provide many different services, be it wealth planning, coaching, speaking, training, whatsoever, but there must be an anchoring team. And people know me for helping them to achieve the next level of wealth, regardless of what my service is. So this is how I navigate through. I mean, to be very honest, I'm able to say this out right now, so in such a short period of time, but it comes with long periods of discovery, long periods of learning, long periods of assessing before I come up with this whole system itself.
Yeah, exactly. There's a lot of exploration that goes on behind the scenes.
Certainly.
And that journey before someone even sort of gets to your stage of like clarity and the confidence to portray the message that you have today. I actually would like to dig into a little bit deeper into that journey actually, as to like talk us through how you went about like from where you were. So maybe from the university, when you had discovered that wealth creation, the creativity, you could actually do something with this. From that point till now, can you talk us through what was the discovery process like for you? What did you get up to?
Lots and lots of mistakes. And ladies and gentlemen, if you are hearing this, I want all of you to embrace your mistakes. One mistake that I made is that I always feel a huge sense of regret or a huge sense of insecurity whenever I make mistakes or whenever I reflect on my mistakes. I feel that, is that a sign? That's a sign of weakness. Why did I do that? If only I'm able to do better, if only I take a different action. But think about it, no one is perfect. And the fact that we are aware it is a mistake, that we are aware that we can do better, means we are growing. We have to be aware that we can do better, because if 20 years from now and I reflect that, actually, what can I do better? That means I don't have any growth at all. So it is all part of the growth process. The whole idea is not just diving into your mistake, not just stopping with your mistake, but how you continue learning, growing, and moving forward with your mistake that will determine how successful you are. And trust me, everyone, even the most successful people like Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, they make tons of mistakes, but it is their ability to move forward. So similarly for mine, I made a lot of mistakes, business mistakes, mindset mistakes, money mistakes, you name it, I have it. I can take a few weeks to really elaborate on all of them. So it is really through all these different mistakes that I keep adjusting and I become better than before. And that's what all of you need to do, is not to hold on to your mistake, not to feel regret because of your mistake, but feel regret if you don't learn and grow from your mistake itself. So yeah, that has been the process itself.
Yeah, so not to be afraid of making mistakes, is that the mistakes is the way through to growth. That's what I'm understanding. Yeah.
Yep.
So then in terms of like throughout that process of you making mistakes and going through the journey, what kind of support did you reach out for or required for you to continue the growth? What was significant for you, for your growth?
Great. So I will encourage all of you that in this journey itself, don't walk it alone. Have people by your side. It can be in the form of a mentor. It can be a form of a close friend listening to all your problems. It can be a form of a pillar of support. It can be a form of a partner. But don't walk this journey alone. All right. So I will emphasize on some of them. Mentors, they are very important because they help you to accelerate your learning curve. They help you to accelerate your process because they have made the mistakes before, they have been through the journey before, they have done what you want to do before. So when you learn from them, you are able to accelerate your learning curve. And I know not everyone out there may be able to afford a mentor, or is not at a financially comfortable place to have a mentor, but there are always other ways to get mentors in a value for money way. It can be as simple as getting a book, right? I would consider that as having a mentor as well, because they pen down decades of their experience and you can certainly learn from them, right? Watching their content on their social media platforms, all of these are different ways of learning from them. Definitely, it's not as effective as getting a personal mentorship, but it is a great substitute. Start from somewhere, right? Get a mentor. And the second thing is being in a positive environment, your friends, your family, your partner. You want people who are positive of what you do. You want people who support you all the way. You want people who are there for you during your lowest time. And trust me, you need those pillars of support because sometimes it can be quite lonely. So for me, to be very honest, I'm someone who's very introvert. I don't actively connect with people. I'm an introvert in an extrovert game, but deep down, I'm an introvert. So it is hard for me to ask for help. It's hard for me to go out to find for support. And that's why I know that without it, it is not a pleasant feeling. So I will encourage you as much as you can, really go find support, go create a great environment that will help you achieve the dreams you want.
Yeah, very important. So we have mentors, books, or any other resources. We've got the internet these days, so there's lots of YouTube, everything. And the number 3, the environment. Now, I think that this one is really important. The environment is can be a struggle for some people. So like if, let's say, like they either don't have the right kind of environment or support. So a lot of people who may be families, friends, and in the workplace as well, or people who want to go on an entrepreneurial journey, but like don't have maybe the support group to go about it. What advice, or how would you suggest someone start to create or develop like the right kind of environment for them?
Very, very good. Because I do understand that some people out there, their close ones are not supportive of their dreams. And it is understandable. It may be from a place of care and concern, especially in Singapore, where entrepreneurship is still not so mainstream compared to getting an 8 to 5 job. Because an 8 to 5 job, it provides financial security, it provides CPF and other different forms of benefits. So it is totally understandable. So with regards to that question, when we talk about environment, do know my definition of environment is that the areas you are constantly exposed to. And social environment is just one of it. There are things such as digital environment, what you have on your phone, what you are watching, what you are reading online, that is digital environment. Physical environment refers to our workplace or place that we are constantly being to. All these are considered environment itself, which you have to adjust towards your dream. What do I mean by that? So as Pauline has mentioned, yeah, sometimes our social environment, the people may not be supportive, but when it comes to digital environment, we have a choice. The content we read, the articles we read, the online books that we read, the videos we watch, are they supporting our dream? Are they giving us the positive affirmation? Are they giving us the knowledge and experience and wisdom that we need to pursue our dream? And our physical environment is also very powerful. Our dream boards, distractions, remove them, things that help to propel us forwards. Yes, out of all these environments, there may be some environments that are not supportive of us and we cannot do anything about it, such as the social environment. Because the last thing I want to encourage is you getting detached from your family. Instead of getting detached from your family, understand where they are coming from. And when you start to show success, they will be supportive of you because they come from a place of care and concern. But of course, with associates that are just there to pull you down, not out of care and concern, but out of selfishness, then leave them if it is possible, right? So other than social environment, other things such as your digital environment, physical environment, these are things that you can engineer, these are things that you can control. So control them.
Hey, just curious about that though, with your own personal experience, because entrepreneurship we know is not for everyone. It is like a road that's full of it's adventure, mistakes, all of that. But anyone who wants to sort of embark on this side of entrepreneurship, start their own business, what do you say in terms of have you had any stories or any experience yourself where you haven't had a positive or the right environment for you to really go for this entrepreneurship, or any projects that you wanted to do before?
Okay, so for people who are starting out on this entrepreneurial journey, right? Like what I mentioned earlier, yes, sometimes the environment may not be positive. For example, you may be just starting a family and you need a secure job to continue to sustain your lifestyle. So it may be difficult for you to leave your job and start a business. And that's one of the first myths that I want to address. That is, you can be an entrepreneur while having an 8 to 5 job. You do not need to leave your job. You do not need to burn all bridges just to start a business itself. You just need to know what business can fit into your current lifestyle. You can start small, and once it reaches a comfortable stage, then decide your options. So that is one area, right? So maybe in the environment it's not so positive for you to leave your jobs to go full-time in your business, then don't go full-time in your business, right? And the second thing is the environment that people thought, maybe in terms of their financial environment, right? I need more money to start a business. I need a huge capital to start a business itself. I need some financial backings. And that is another myth that I want to address, because there are many business models out there which is practically zero cost. You just need to know which is the right one. So just to give a very good example, a lot of people think that F&B business, you definitely need a high startup cost whatsoever. But what if you form it in an agency?
Sorry, what was What did you
F&B,
say,
food
Thomas?
and
F&B.
beverages.
Oh,
Yeah,
yes,
food and
F&B.
beverages business, correct? F&B.
Okay.
So, but it's really up to our creativity, and I can give an idea. What if you create an agency model where you are the middleman, you collect orders, and then you deliver these orders to those F&Bs, and then from there get a profit cut out of it. This is one way of so-called running a F&B business, but you are in the middleman aspect of it. And then from there, after things starts to get comfortable, then you can have your own products and your own different food and beverages. So that is one way to go about it. So it is really about your creativity itself, how you can find different concepts to suit your position right now. So there are many different things that stop us from running business. If we really want to look at the specifics, there are so many things, you know, lack of security, lack of financial backing, risky, but it is all about up to us and our mind of how we can navigate this accordingly and come up with the best model that is suited for our situation right now. So like Pauline and I, we are coaches. The cost of being a coach, aside from all our self-upgrading, but the cost of running a business is the coaching business is very lean, right? We can choose to upskill it through running ads whatsoever, but at the foundational basis itself, it's very lean. So everyone can do it if they have the passion and the skills of doing it. It's whether are they willing to do it or not. So these are different models for you to explore right from the start itself. You don't need to put in lots of capital. You don't need to sacrifice your full-time job. It's really about the intention, whether do you want to do it or not.
Very interesting. Yeah, I totally agree with you, because in coaching, especially in our sort of world, it's we are the product. We are the product and the service. So that's why it's very lean. Like we just have to show up. But I want to ask, what about like what are your thoughts on people who like they've had a career for a long time, and that's all that they know, and they're interested in starting something new, but they have a belief that maybe they don't have the skills, or maybe it's going to take too long to like have to go and study something else, have to learn more things, and it's too hard. Do you have any sort of insight or like advice on how to bridge that gap for someone when they're like, oh, I don't have the skills, it's going to take me too long, it's going to take me too much money? Like, what do you say to that?
I mean, Pauline just asked amazing questions, and this is a very good question, because this is one reason which is stopping people from stepping out of their comfortable corporate job. Do I have the skills to do other things? And to that question, what you must ask yourself is, right now, your corporate job, what skills does it provide you with? List them all down. It is not just the technical skills, but there are other skills such as leadership skills. There are other skills such as communication skills, presentation skills, sales skills. All of these which you can create different models out of it. For example, if you are in sales, the sales skills, the fundamentals are there. So you can either teach people about sales, or you can sell other products using your sales skills right now. Or if you are in communications itself, you can teach people about communication, or you can start other businesses which requires communication, such as perhaps public relations, right? So what you want to ask yourself is really, what are the skill sets you have based on your current job, and how you can branch out from there.
Yes. And I love that you pointed that out, because I don't believe that anybody doesn't have skills. From past experience, there's always something that people can do or manufacture out of what they already have. So they don't always have to go and constantly seek. Yes, upgrading skills is one thing, but also you've got to work with what you have to start off with.
Yep. Resourcefulness over resources.
Yes. What would you say your biggest lesson is in life or in business, just in general for you, for Thomas Chen? What's the biggest lesson that Thomas Chen has learned?
Yeah, this had always been the toughest question, because in every interview itself, right, when this question is posted to me, I will always be thinking, because I have so many lessons, which one should I elaborate on more on? So the biggest lesson I would say at this point in time is really adaptability itself. And especially during the pandemic period, we see the importance of adaptability. At the end of the day, just as the saying goes, it's not the strongest, but it's the most adaptable that survive, right? Because if we choose to stay comfortable, if we choose to just simply hold on to what we have, knowing that it will not work during this point in time, during that situation, it is just a downward spiral for us. So we have to adapt accordingly, be it pivoting our business models, be it coming up with new operations, be it even sometimes having to lay off our team members. Tough decisions have to be made, but changes must be made in order for us to survive and in order for us to become stronger than ever. And I know it is not as simple and not as easy as it may sound, especially making changes, especially when we are so attached to our business itself. Like, let's say we are very attached to a business model that we have been doing for maybe years and years and years, and that we have to make a directional change. It may not be easy. Like, for example, my branding itself, I've made a lot of tweaks. And during the initial phase, I feel very hesitant because I've spent hours and a lot of space just to come up with that concept. And when I have to just throw the concept away to come up with something new, it is not a pleasant feeling, but I have to do it. But ladies and gentlemen, even huge companies such as Starbucks, they are constantly making tweaks. Their logo itself, it is constantly changing, right? Even for Apples, they are constantly making tweaks. We have to constantly adapt and adjust accordingly if we want to not only survive, but thrive, right? Especially now in a fast-changing, in a fast-paced, ever-changing, this is what we have to do. We have to be fluid, we have to adjust accordingly in every different aspects. Of course, when it comes to adjustments, there are strategies to it as well. You don't want just a 180-degree shift because people may not recognize us. We may lose all our followers and fans, but there are ways to make tweaks while still maintaining the momentum, while still maintaining our loyal clients, while still maintaining our direction ahead. So it is really about how you can adapt and adjust accordingly while not losing the direction altogether. And like this saying, which always goes that the end goal, fix it there, but the method to reaching the end goal, make it fluid.
Yes, I love that you said that. That's right. It's really these days, it's more about the flexibility. So the most flexible person, yes, wins the game, essentially. And one of the things that you mentioned that I really like is the fact that not to be afraid of just, if something's not working, you can just throw it away. So like try something. If it's not working, you can just start all over again and not be afraid to start all over. Maybe it's not in the sense of, you did mention, it's not like you just get rid of your followers and you ditch the brand and all of that, but it's more like, it depends if it's something that your project or some idea that you're working on and you know that it's just not the right thing, or it's just doesn't feel right, it's okay to scrap it and start all over again with a new idea. So yeah, that's really, really cool. Okay, so what are you working on these days? Like, what's next for you?
All right, so my big vision has always been to impact 1 million lives. So every initiative I do, every new programs that I run, it is all towards impacting 1 million lives. And nowadays, in this digital day and age, it's getting easier. This direction of mine, it is possible. Anyone can do it. So for me, I'm launching a lot of online outreach. I'm launching a lot of online programs, a lot of online initiative in the hope of reaching out to as many people as I can, in the hope of having my content to reach out to people internationally, because the hope is that one way or another, people will be impacted by it. Be it someone who just happened to come across one of my advertisements, or be it someone who just visited my website, or be it someone who come across my social media posting. The whole idea, my wish is to impact them one way or another. So currently what I'm working on is all these initiatives that will help me to reach more people, be it running advertisements, conducting interviews, having collaborations. It is all with the intention of impacting as many people as I can. And this pandemic period, it has been an advantage for me because this is when I start to explore overseas. previously I'm just in my Singapore comfort zone, but right now it's so easy to connect with people, right? I can connect Pauline, who is from a different country as me. I can connect with other people all around the world and develop more outreach from there. So yeah, turn your adversities into your advantage. And this adversity of the pandemic has certainly helped me to propel what I want even further.
Yeah, beautiful. So impact 1 million lives. What's the driving force of that, or what do you envision for yourself in terms of what does impact look like for you?
Great question. So firstly, if those of you who are listening, you would remember that I mentioned my inner purpose is to impact others. So that is how it aligns. In terms of the number of 1 million, it is a goal that I set for myself because I'm someone who needs a definite goal, or else I will not have any direction at all. So I'm following motivational speakers such as Robin Sharma, Tony Robbins, Dean Graziosi, and these are their directions as well to impact other people. And my definition of impacting other people, it is being my content reaching out to 1 million people itself. That at this point in time, so in the future, it may change depending on where I am at that point in time. It can be me donating 1 million meals to people. It can be me having keynote speech to thousands and thousands and thousands of people on a regular basis. But right now, it is my content reaching out to 1 million people. Along the way, my goals may adjust. I'm sure it will adjust, in fact, because when I reach it, I will want to go for the next level, the next level, the next level. But the fundamental and the foundation stays the same. That is to impact as many people as I can.
Very, very positive. Yeah, I love that mission. That's huge. Like, anyway, it's very exciting. It makes me very excited when you tell me about your vision. Then I'm like, oh yeah, it makes me excited about my vision. So that's really cool.
I mean, to be honest, I still feel that I'm playing a little small, but it's step by step. I'm not sure if you happen to know about this person called Chris Du. He always mentioned that in his content, he wants to be a billionaire. And his definition of being a billionaire is to impact 1 billion people. So maybe one day, but right now, step by step.
Yeah. And one of the things I noticed about you as well is that it's more about that energy that you have in terms of the impact. Like, even though you put a number out there, 1 million, 1 billion, but it's more about like, if not like for people you can put a number out there or some kind of goal, but it's more about having that energy towards that goal. And no matter, even if you reach 1 million or you reach 1 billion or you don't, but the fact that you've raised your level of like that vision and that frequency level, that you're able to take the action to really see if you can make that kind of impact. So I really like your energy.
Yeah, at the end of the day, it's the journey that matters.
Yes, exactly. Not the destination, because everyone's going to land up in the same place. It's just the different experience.
It's about how we live that journey and how we walk through that journey itself.
Yes, all right, okay. So who were you saying? Chris Du, was it? Chris Du?
Yeah, Chris Du. Chris Du is one of my inspiration as well. So he started out as a designer, but he branched out from there, now teaching the people to do business. You can check out his YouTube channel. He has an amazing amount of following. And yeah, one of his keynote speech, he did mention that he wants to be a billionaire. And his definition of billionaire is to impact 1 billion people.
Yeah, wonderful. Cool. All right, might have to look into Chris Du as well. Okay, and where do people find you in terms of the work that you do and connect with you?
Great. So they can connect with me on my social media platforms. I am more active on Facebook, LinkedIn. You can find me at Thomas Chen. There are a couple of Thomas Chen, but I think only one which looks like this. So yeah, go check it out.
Yeah,
I certainly love to, do say hi, connect with me, do say hi. I would certainly love to value add all of you one way or another.
Yes, yeah, you got so much to give. And last question is, I always like to ask my guests, if you were to leave a legacy behind one day when you finish up on this earth, and you would want to create a law for people, for this world, what law would you want to create?
Wow, that is a very deep question. What law would I want to create? to be very honest, I will not create any law because I am a believer that everything happens for a reason. Laws which are happening right now, which are created, one day they may be removed, one day they may be refined, I don't know, but it really all depends on that point in time. So I wouldn't want to enforce a law which people cannot change, which will be there, because I believe everything happens for a reason. And a law that I place in right now, I may feel that it's very beneficial. No war, no arguments, no conflicts whatsoever. It may not be the most beneficial law because it is just from my perspective. So I will just leave everything by this because I have enough faith in mankind that we would figure things out, that we will adjust according to that situation and that time and place itself.
You are a true entrepreneur. That's got to be fluid. You're very congruent with the being fluid and adaptable. So yeah, that's great that you don't have to have a law. Wonderful. Well, it was beautiful to connect with you today, Thomas. I think that people will get so much out of this conversation. And I hope it does inspire people to be able to make mistakes and go after what they want. So thank you for the opportunity. So much.
Love it.
Thank you so much for being on. It's been so much fun to learn from you.
Likewise.
Okay. Until next time. Bye.
Bye.